G'day guys, welcome to My Blue Heaven and Trade Talk. Trade Talk, it is our time to shine as a football club. It is our grand final week, okay? We love it. We absolutely love it. And I'm not here to bag us. I'm not here to bag us, and I'm not even here to be negative, okay? I'm here to try and identify what we need, okay? But it almost feels like we've already decided what we want, and we've got that. Hopefully, we are a little bit more proactive as well. But we're big players. We're always big players in this trade period, and we are entertaining. We are entertaining. But at the end of the day, sorry for using that awful cliche, but at the end of the day, it's to make us better, isn't it? It's to make us better, okay? And we need to get better. And I think we still have more holes than bloody Kingston Heath on our list. I really do. And the obvious concerns and the obvious areas that we've spoken about is the midfield. Okay, we have a weak midfield, and we're addressing that. We're addressing that. I think George Hewitt appears to be a really good pickup. Is he exactly what we need? We're just going to have to wait and see whether he's exactly what we need. He appears to be exactly what we need, but at the same time, when you recruit a player like George Hewitt, you ask the question, where does that leave someone like an Ed Curnow? Because I actually think George Hewitt is an upgrade on Ed. And that's no disrespect to Ed, because I thought Ed was outstanding in the last game of the year when he kicked 4 goals. But at the same time, do you want George Hewitt and Ed Curnow to be running around in the same midfield? Where does that leave Ed? Where does that leave him? Because I don't know whether I want Ed Curnow on a wing necessarily, how important that position has come as well. And I'll get to that in a second. But I think George Hewitt makes us good because he can play as that lockdown midfielder, but he's got good skills. He's got good skills. He makes good decisions. I like that. And he's clean below his knees. And we know he loves to tackle. So where did that, but not only Ed, where does that leave some other players as well through that? Because you can't play them all. And he will be playing. He will be playing. And I think if you look at our midfield, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what we lack. So it's about getting that right balance, but it's about getting a lot of numbers. But it's not much just point recruiting all these midfielders unless I suppose you can find a role for them and they all complement each other. So we're lacking grunt with skill, which I think Hewitt's got. He's no superstar. But we're also lacking some genuine class and some blokes who can kick the footy and use it well. And I think Chera, at 21 years of age, and I'm not going to get into how much we're going to give up for him. Okay, I really couldn't give a fuck about that at this stage. Okay, for me, time will decide. Okay, time will always decide that. Let's just wait and see. But he will provide. We know he will make us better. He will provide those kicking skills. So I think yeah, it seems to be a nice balance. And does that help us address the wing position, which is a fucking shambles, an absolute fucking shambles? I can't see one player on our list at the moment who I'd be confident other than Sam Walsh. I don't know enough about Chera, and I don't know enough about Hewitt, whether they can play wing roles. I haven't seen enough of them. But I can tell you what, other than Sam Walsh, who we don't really want on a wing, is really robbing Peter to pay Paul, or is it? Do we consider the wings that significant now that you could play a Sam Walsh on the wing? But other than Sam Walsh, these are the blokes we ran through there this year. Cottrell, Ed Curnow, Mark Murphy, gone. Jack Nunes, no. Will Setterfield, no. David Cunningham, well, he's going to be out mid-season. Zach Williams, no. Doesn't work hard enough, not fit enough. Someone's mentioning Zach Fisher. He spent some minutes there, not fit enough. Hasn't got the tank. Tom Williamson, not skilled enough, not smart enough. Lockie O'Brien, will he be at the football club next year? Still out of contract. Is he good enough? Is he strong enough? Is he tough enough? We know he uses it okay. We know he's got a decent engine, but does he win the ball enough? Is he? I don't know. So it's still a concern, that wing position. And if you look at Langdon and Brayshaw at Melbourne, played the whole year there. We look at Hunter Smith, played the whole year there. You look at Isaac Smith and Menegola at the catch. You look at McCluggage. I'm not quite sure who the other wingman at the Brisbane Lions is, but every good side have wingers, okay, that play that role pretty much for the whole year and are contributors, okay, because they run really hard both ways, and they're selfless. So does adding more midfield depth to our football club help solve that problem? We're just going to have to wait and see. Anyway, I want to talk about, I think, two glaring deficiencies at either end of the ground. Which is a bit of a surprise because we think, we've got a lot of defenders and we've got a lot of forwards. It's probably the least of our problems. But I think we can always get better at both ends. And I believe these two specific types of players will make us better, a lot better. And maybe with Michael Voss coming into the football club with a new set of eyes, with these players, might identify players already on the list who can play these roles. But I don't know. And I'll mention the players I think we may have trialled in these positions who I don't think quite cut the mustard. Or maybe we just don't have this type at all. And I'd love to hear your feedback as well. So the first player I want to talk about is down back. And you probably think, not another fucking midfielder. Okay, there's no doubt that we're going to need to develop some bigs moving forward. And getting, obviously, Lewis Young to the football club, maybe he can fulfil that role in time. And Liam Jones, he's going to be, 31 now, Liam Jones. Okay, but I'm talking a hard-nosed, medium-sized defender. Okay, committed, brave, selfless, hates to get fucking beaten by his opponent, tough, uncompromising, athletically gifted, both in the air and on the deck, who has good speed and makes pretty good decisions by hand and foot, but doesn't necessarily have to be a superstar. In fact, they don't have to be a superstar. But they want to, their bread and butter is to fucking defend. A player that will complement Adam Saad, Zach Williams, and possibly Nick Newman. Do we have that player on our list at the moment who can take on the most dangerous small forward or medium-sized defender in the game, like a Toby Green or a Liam Ryan or a Keziah Pickett or a Tom Papley? I don't believe we have. Now, people will be saying, what about Lockie Plowman? What about Liam Stocker? What about Nick Newman himself? Or what about Tom Williamson, who've all played this role at some time or another over the last couple of years? Lockie Plowman is probably the most intriguing player moving forward, I think, at our football club, to see what Michael Voss does with him or doesn't do with him. I don't rate him at all. I'm sorry, I just don't rate him. I just don't think he's hard enough. I'm not saying he's not brave, I just don't think he's desperate or hard enough. And I think he's had a free run for a long, long time. And I don't think he plays that role particularly well. Okay, I just don't think he's desperate enough, and I just don't think it means enough to him. It just doesn't mean enough to him. I don't see him get upset enough when he's beaten. And I just don't think he's tough and strong enough in the contest. He's tackling. And I don't see him as a viable option as that medium-sized hard-nosed defender anymore. I don't know about Liam Stocker. I just don't think he has the pace. I just don't think he has the pace, and I don't want him groomed as... I don't necessarily want someone with his class, I think, groomed as that role. I'm uncomfortable with that at this stage. I think Tom Williamson was trialled with that, but I just don't think he has the nous or the skill or the decision-making or the awareness when he has the ball in hand, because we just don't want this to be a hard-nosed defender who can't win the ball. They need to be able to win the ball, and when they have it, they need to not cost you. And unfortunately, Tom will have to make huge strides next year, huge strides in regards to his awareness in his decision-making. And I don't know whether it's in Nick Newman's nature either. I'm not disregarding Nick Newman, but I see him more in the calibre of a Zach Williams and an Adam Sard. And how many of those can we have down back? So I think we're in the market. We're in the market for that player. And the type of player I'm talking about, just so you can picture it from opposition teams. And I think Essendon are doing the right thing, okay, in targeting Jake Kelly. They've done it. They've recruited Jake Kelly from the Adelaide Crows. Now, he's no superstar, and maybe he won't be the solution for them down back. But I can see exactly what, okay, Truck is doing and Carousella are doing down there. Okay, they want someone who can lock down. Okay, they want someone who's brave, someone who's committed. Okay, and he mightn't be the perfect player down there because he's not a great distributor. But I can see what they're trying to do to free up the likes of Hind, okay, to free up Ridley a little bit more. Okay, I think it's a really good pickup for them. And I don't like to give Essendon a rap. Okay, but the players from the good teams, okay, from the good teams. So we talk about the premiers, and they don't necessarily have to be expensive or high-profile players who you have to use a really early draft pick on or a high draft pick. So I'm talking about Trent Rivers from Melbourne, second-year player, pick 32, who's made them significantly better down back, who gets those roles. He's as hard as a duck to speak. He's skillful. He's athletically gifted. He's fast. And he fucking hates getting beaten. Hates it. With a passion. You see it in him. His demeanour. Every time, okay, his opponent gets the ball, he is livid. He's livid with himself. And he's selfless. He's selfless. Okay, he provides that outlet for other players, okay, to shine, like your Christian Salem. Like a Christian Salem, we look at Salem and go, wow, what a wonderful halfback flanker. But if without the likes of someone like a Trent Rivers, he's unable to play that role. Who do we have in our team who plays that role, who's so selfless? I look at Taylor DeRay and what a wonderful pickup he's been for the Western Bulldogs. And I didn't really rate DeRay that much at Hawthorn, probably because Hawthorn were that good, and he probably flew under the radar. But fuck, he's been a good pickup for the Western Bulldogs. Skillful. I didn't realise he was so hard. I didn't realise he was so fast and so athletically gifted. And we know what a lethal left foot that is when he gets the ball. And the job he did on Pickett in that grand final was outstanding. I mean, Pickett, they had so much of the ball, Melbourne, but fucking DeRay just stuck to his guns. I thought he was outstanding. Probably the Bulldogs' best player. I love Brandon Starcevic from the Brisbane Lions. Okay, he flies under the radar, but fuck, he's hard. Okay, you want to hear his teammates talk about him. Okay, he's so committed. All right, and I love watching him play. And that's the type of player that we need at the Carlton Football Club. The Giants have a beauty coming on in Conor Ryden, down back. And we saw Ryden against us in the last game of the season. Geelong, they got Jed Hughes. Okay, he's no superstar, and maybe he's not the best, but Jed Hughes plays that role perfectly. Okay, watch out for a young guy at Port Adelaide next year in Lachie Jones. There's no doubt that Port Adelaide have looked, okay, we need that hard defender down back. So that is that's one player I'd like to target. One player. That is that hard-nosed, medium-sized defender. Tell me what you think. Do we have someone, or would you like to see us either identify someone in the trade period or look for someone in the draft? The next player is up forward, the other end of the ground, and we look at our stocks in the forward half, and if they're all fit and firing, we think it looks pretty lethal. Obviously Harry, if Charlie can get somewhere, doesn't necessarily have to be back to his real best, but if he can get someone near his best, he's going to be pretty bloody good as our two talls. And you chuck in Gov there as well, but I like the versatility of Gov, and I think he could pinch it down back as well. But I see Gov as that tall, that third tall. But I'm talking more your hybrid forward. A forward with versatility that can play small and tall. So they're equally as adept on the ground as they are in the air. Okay? So if you're picturing this, picture Jack Gunston, picture Tom Lynch, the former Crow, who's now been delisted, both at 193 centimetres. All right? Picture Bailey Fritsch, Melbourne Football Club, 188 centimetres, 6 goals in the grand final. Mitch Hannon, picked up by the Western Bulldogs, former D at 190 centimetres. Gary Rowan, and I know you might be thinking, fuck Gary Rowan, he can't get he couldn't get a kick in a stampede in a big final, but bloody hell, he's good in the home and away series. 189 centimetres hybrid forward. Josh Caddy at the Richmond Football Club back in 2018, premiership player, 46 goals, 185 centimetres. The Swans have got two beauties in Will Hayward, 187, and Isaac Heaney, 186 up forward, who'd also at times pinch hit through the midfield. Connor Rosie, 185 centimetres at Port Adelaide. Mitch Georgiades, 192 centimetres. Jake Stringer at the Bombers, 192 centimetres, 41 goals. Cam Rayner missed the whole of last season, 187 centimetres, hybrid forward. Toby Green, a little bit smaller at 182, but great in the air, great off the deck. Shane McAdam, who we actually had. We actually had Shane McAdam from Adelaide, 183 centimetres. We got him, we gave him away. Liam Ryan, a little bit smaller, plays tall and small, 180. Collingwood have DeGoey and Jamie Elliott. North have Jaden Stevenson. And the Saints, the poor old Saints, took a punt on Mason Wood at 192 centimetres. Didn't quite work out for him this year. Played a couple of good games, kicked he played the 9 games, kicked 7 goals. Have we got that player on our list? I remember back to 1995 in our last premiership. Matt Clapley coming to the football club at 192 centimetres. Brad Pearce. God, they fucking made our forward line a hell of a lot better with both Sticks and Earl Sporting up there as those mobile, hybrid, versatile forwards who were good in the air but could kick goals off the deck as well, and extremely, extremely hard to match up on. Have we got one of those players at the moment? I'm not including Mitch McGovern. Don't think he's mobile enough off the deck. Josh Honey at 184 centimetres. Be interesting to see how Josh develops next year. Is he ready? Can you see him as that type of player, or is he just a small? Is he a small? I've yet to really see it in the air. Jack Martin, 20 goals from his 26 games at the football club, played a lot of midfield. Will he be a permanent forward next year at 186 centimetres? I'm not quite sure. And the wild card is Brody Kemp, who in his under 18 year went forward and back. Okay, so he rotated between forward and back, and at 193 centimetres, is he mobile enough on the deck? We know he's pretty good in the air. What do you think? We don't have one, do we? We've got some smalls coming through with Durden and Owies. We've got the bigs. But not since Andrew Walker have we had that type of player. Andrew Walker back in 2011, I think it may have been, when he kicked his 50-odd goals. Tell me what you think. Am I on the money about our hybrid forward and our medium-sized, hard-nosed defender? I'll be back soon. Catches.